I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
All right, welcome into the Power Hour here on YSN. DJ Yoakley with you live from athletics here in Columbiana. The brand spanking. You can still smell the paint on the walls. It's like that new car smell. I love it. Naturally, we are excited to be here for a number of reasons. I'm joined by Sean Wardle here, who has so many titles: super athlete, GOAT, owner, co-founder. Well, like you can
deep in
just
here,
put them. Well, listen, it's true. Like you've worked so hard for this, Sean. I know how excited you are for this. It's open. It's ready. If you build it, they will come. They're coming. The people are here, and the reviews are out, and people love this place. Does it feel real yet for you to be sitting here in a place that is to me the sports mecca of Ohio, and it's not even close?
Yeah, you know what? It's it's starting to get more and more real. The momentum, we're starting to be able to feel some momentum build, which is great. Obviously, you've got everything laid out. Like when you come through here and you see, you can imagine what it may have cost, and we took a leap of faith, if you will.
Sure.
So we're praying that it continues to come through. I'm trying to enjoy the journey. I think that's the biggest thing.
It's tough.
Is just enjoying the journey and understanding that, like, hey, it's here, it's real, but it's it's going to be a process to get to where we envision. But it's definitely fun.
I can see the excitement on your face because some of the conversations we had just today, like you and I are both idea guys. So at some point during this partnership, I got a feeling that Michelle and your dad are probably going to separate us, like the kids that aren't allowed to sit next to each other at the table, because the ideas start stringing together. But I mean, I look behind us, and one of the reasons I wanted to have it here was because you got the Top Golf swing suite, you got the cage in the background. If you take a hard right, you have the field house, but right before there will be the official home of your sports network. We're calling it the Hot Corner. Everybody loves the name. I love it. It's perfect time with athletics, perfect time with YSN. But that will be the remote home for your sports network in the near future. We say 2024, but I think we're going to be done way before that.
Oh, no. We got to make that happen tomorrow.
See, this is why we can't sit next to each other.
Yeah, this is the problem. We're a problem together. But no, but really what's going to be so exciting is, like, as athletes come in and they come here to compete or they come here to do things, they're just going to see YSN in big, bold letters, lighted signs, on air, right? Like a glass studio. So folks, when you come in and you walk down the main thoroughfare here, right before you get into the tunnel to get to the field house, right on your right there, it's going to be the future home. You'll see Patrick McClone, that does all the mural painting. He's going to be putting a YSN logo on the wall in there, so you'll kind of really know exactly where that's at. So shout out to Pat, great guy. So we're excited about that, and then we continue to come up with what we think are good ideas. I guess we'll need some feedback on them, but some things even with like that college game day atmosphere for high school football. I think if we can do something like that here, a remote with the bands, the cheerleaders.
Oh, we're geeked.
Oh, it's going to happen, and it's going to be incredibly cool.
So we've got Kristen says it looks awesome. Yes, it
Thank
is. It's very, very awesome. And what's funny is you can see it on television, on streams, whatever. But until you're here, you don't really understand how, number one, big this place is. How just, I mean, there's technology everywhere, Sean. And as a geek, I'm loving it. I mean, there's TVs. You've got now. Here's the cool thing: is right behind us, you have the home plate,
Yeah.
which is your own like concession stand,
Sure.
which I love. You've partnered with Birdfish, who we're big fans of.
Yeah.
We'll actually be here a little bit later, right?
Yeah.
Talking
Yeah.
about the intramurals that you guys are going to be doing together. Let's start there, I guess.
Okay.
How did you come up with that idea, and to not just serve, I guess, the local high school athlete, the local youth athlete, but now you can give a little bit of intramurals so people can live out their dreams of being a pickleball, dodgeball, whatever superstar right there in the field house.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I can't take a lot of credit for it. Obviously, in our performa, we had some things like that,
Mhm.
but and we hope to fill up maybe some of the later hours. But actually, the guys from Birdfish, they came to us and said, "Hey, can we rent your field to do some kickball and some fun wiffle ball like backyard games?" And I said, it's just like kind of talking to you. It's like, can I take that and can we up you one? I said, how
Yeah.
about we do it together? And we do everything. We could do top golf one week. We can do kickball another week. We could play basketball another week. What have you, just anything and everything. And they said, that sounds awesome. Let's go. So that starts Wednesday, the 9th, 9 p.m. Register now. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun with it. So,
And what are the ages on that? I mean, because obviously, I mean, Birdfish, I think you're going to be pouring them here, right?
so that we probably won't pour them here yet.
Okay.
We don't have a liquor license, but
Gotcha.
we could pull a festival permit if we need
Yep.
to. And, but we actually want to drive people down to
Birdfish.
Birdfish. Like
Makes
let's
sense.
go. So if you wear your league t-shirt, you get $1 off drafts.
Oh, man.
So yeah, just some cool things like that we're going to be doing with them. And this is the first. So this is the pilot. We'll see how it goes. If we get a great response, then we'll continue to do it and maybe do it multiple days a week. So there's, league on Monday, league on Wednesday, so on and so forth.
So from a proximity standpoint, if people are wondering how close or far you are from Birdfish, it's about 4 minutes, 5 minutes in the car tops.
Yeah.
And you can get there and get that $1 off your draft, all that stuff. I love that you and everybody here is tying into so many different networks, tying into YSN, tying into Birdfish, I mean, everywhere seemingly you have a network. We're gonna have the Heartland Christian basketball team here before we know it, walk right past us.
Yeah.
So many different organizations, schools are taking advantage of what you have to offer here. What is the excitement for you? I mean, I know you envision like everybody being able to come under one banner and be in athletics. And it's starting to happen. Like, was that the vision for you? Is a come one, come all?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the partnerships are just so key because, we want to be a part of the greater community, right? A, and B, I think that's just, creating community and creating strategic partnerships. 1 + 1 can be 3. You can create synergies. I mean, you look at our relationship from YSN to us and how you and I immediately saw all the connection points, and then you get with other folks and you say, wow, I can see all those connection points and where we can make synergies between our companies and between our brands. And to me, it's exactly what you should be doing. To me, it's what a good business person does, right?
Yeah.
But it just would be a tremendous opportunity to grow the community and grow strategic partnerships. I love that part of it. But in terms of come one, come all, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can see the serious athlete that is here already training in some of our programming, all the way up to when we start adult intramural leagues just to have some fun. And there's a group that comes and plays volleyball. They're awesome. Every Tuesday, Thursday, they have 40 or so people in open volleyball. Like, I mean, they've got a whole crew. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're great people. I mean, they're amazing. And they're here every Tuesday, Thursday. They're playing volleyball. We have 4 courts set up and they're out there just having fun for 2-3 hours.
So what is it? You come in kind of like the old days where you kind of put $1, $5, whatever in the hat to play for free time. How do you do that?
Yeah. So right now we have open volleyball Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 9. $5 drop in.
Yeah.
And they usually play a little long, which we don't mind. There's nobody in after them.
Sure.
So they'll play a little longer than 2 hours. And then basketball 7 to 9 Monday, Wednesday.
Okay.
Pickleball every day.
Super competitive, by the way.
8 a.m. They get after it. So 8 a.m. until noon every day they're here. And then Friday night from 6 to 9, we have open pickleball. Again, it's just $5 drop in. And then over the weekend, they kind of vary a little bit depending on our programming. We'll have like, volleyball, one open volleyball, one open pickleball, and one open volleyball on the weekend.
Wow. So one of the things that I really like, and I envision, and I hope I'm not breaking any ground here, is these organizations. I know I come from the EPYSA, East Palestine Youth Sports Association, organizations like that, to make these championship games feel extra special. Wouldn't it be cool to have, and especially with all the technology we're going to be bringing in with YSN, to be able to have that featured here? Like, would that be something you'd be open to for organizations to be like, hey, we're having our championship game. When are their blocks available? Is that the question they need to ask, or what are some of the things they need to have when they call athletics?
Yeah, I mean, just an idea of when and how much time they need. So, on December 1st, I need 3 hours and I need 1 court, or I need 2 courts. So I want the entire hardwood surface. That's about it. Pretty easy. They can call us, email us at info@athleticstraining.com is easy, because it goes to the whole management team. Everyone gets it. So somebody better follow up with you, right? Like, or myself, I better. So it can be as simple as that. And obviously we hope that we expect the YSN All-Star games will be here and things like that. So again, perfect venue for hosting those kinds of things.
So from a standpoint of, you talk about volleyball, I know you guys have a big, all right, explain. I know it's a showcase. It's what are they? I mean, there's 17 different names for it nowadays. For volleyball, you got one coming up on Saturday, right? You want people to know about?
Yeah, Saturday from 8:30 till 10:30. We have middle school. It's really geared, this particular camp, a 1-day quick hit camp.
Sure.
Is to sharpen their skills right before they go to JO tryouts. JO tryouts are happening, the Junior Olympic.
It's like a tune-up.
Yeah, tune-up type, or just, in general, if they're just looking to enhance their skills. We've had a lot of people reach out and ask if we're going to have volleyball programming. So that was kind of a natural, like, okay, well, we need to do that, right? So that's kind of how we ended up with the idea to do that. And then the timing was kind of, let's do one now, right before JO. And then we're going to do one that runs concurrent with the JO volleyball season for the girls, so that they can come in on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. If you didn't want to commit to JO, if you didn't make the JO team, or if you're going to JO and you just think you need some more coaching or better coaching, we have an opportunity to do that. Rachel Baker, formerly Rachel Storm, awesome volleyball player. She's going to be kind of heading that up for us. And so she's running the camp. So middle school is from 8:30 to 10:30. High school is from 11 until 2.
And the cost for middle school and high school a little bit different, but that's still
a little different just because there's more time.
Sure.
But $65 for the high school, 3 hours, and the 2-hour camp is $45 for the middle school.
Which is reasonable because of what you're getting. You're getting that instruction. You're getting basically probably close to one-on-one, or, from that standpoint, from one of the best. So
yeah, we don't expect on this short of notice to have a million kids there, right?
Yeah.
So it should be a nice smaller group setting.
I like that.
To get some really good instruction. Yeah.
I like that. And you were, I mean, I've met Evan before, and now we got Jerry back there. I mean, when you bring these guys in, they come with some extensive resumes and impressive resumes. Why is it so important to bring in the best of the best here? So, when people are wondering, I guess, you can explain, you can show their resume and say, hey, this is what they have in their background.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think it's all about being different in a good way. And again, you don't put this much passion and this much investment to be second best or third best or fifth best, or just kind of, be in the conversation. I think it's just like all of us who are former athletes. I mean, you don't train to be second best. You want to be the best at what you do. That's the goal and that's the hope. So you need to bring in like-minded individuals, right? You need the best streaming service. You need the best trainers. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
There's no
silver medal mentality does not work in something like this.
No, because then you start to question your effort when it's all said and done, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like athletes when they go in. If you gave a half of an effort but expected to have the best result, you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
But if you gave all your effort and still finished second, at least you have no regrets. And that's kind of the same thing here. So why bring in subpar trainers or subpar streaming services or subpar, brewery partners to do adult leagues, right? Why not bring in the best?
Yep.
And so we've been very blessed that God has kind of cleared the way for some of these things to happen. I mean, even Jerry just kind of popping in one day when we were getting ready for opening and saying, hey, I want to move from Minnesota and here's my resume. And we're looking at this resume and saying, well, you worked with NFL guys, you worked with this guy. We're like, oh yeah, please, can we come in? And he hit it off with Evan. that's another great thing. It's not like we have two trainers that are competing against each other. We have two trainers that want the best for each other and want the best for the athletes that train here. And it's just such a blessing to have the two of those guys here. And Jerry's actually working today. I was going to try to see if we can get him to hop in and talk about his agility, speed and agility classes he's doing now, and some of the things he's working on with Evan and athlete programming and things like that.
You said the dude's jumping like 60 inches on the
it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, Blake, one of our other managers, I don't know, Blake was here too, but
I told you, when you turn that camera on, everybody runs.
They do. They scattered. But yeah, Blake did a box jump on his own Instagram and tagged us, and then so then Jerry came in and jumped, whatever higher, because he could. But Blake's got a good vertical too, and he's a college football player that happens to work here as well. So yeah, good guys.
When you look at it's seasonal, you know what I mean? Everybody's so used to, okay, this is the time of year that you're going to get baseball, softball players working in the cage, working at, trying to get that extra push. You actually have a softball league that's starting in the not too distant future, about a month from now.
Yeah, we another blessing. So Jeff DeRose from some South Range, I was on a board with him, and so we kind of go way back. And he just said, hey, would you be interested in running, a high school softball league out of the field house this winter? And I said, that'd be great. So it's kind of how it all started, the impetus of it. And, we'll have 10 or 11 of the local high school teams, Ursuline, South Range, and some others, out here kind of getting after it all winter long, which is going to be awesome.
And that's really great. Like we talked about back in our day, we were hitting in the basement, and hitting in the garage, and you couldn't feel your hands by the time you're done. Now you are having leagues where you can not only hone your skills offensively, but defensively in real life situations. Do you expect, and I know this from past, our level of softball has risen because of travel softball. With something like this that allows players to go year round, do you expect that level to go even higher?
Yeah, I do. And a lot of those club teams have reached out to us. I know the Steel Valley Storm is a massive renter of us this year, and they really are looking to have a great partnership with us. So Steel Valley Storm is one, Ohio Lightning is another. And I'm sure I'm missing several others, but yeah, there's been a great pull and push from them. And then of course our athletics baseball teams, we have a club baseball organization that we've had for years down at Ysn Park, and now it's branching into travel teams. And I expect next year we'll have probably a full complement of teams, from 10U and up or whatever. And
that's kind of the cool part is when people see these teams out at facilities, they go, well, what's athletics? That probably brings a smile to your face, because then the ball starts rolling.
Yeah, it does. And it's crazy how it kind of happens. Even back a few years ago, a few of us got together and started something called Kingfish Baseball. It was just literally, it was half of a joke. Like we just wanted like a funny looking logo, like these cool minor league teams. So Kenosha had the Kingfish, and we just turned the fish silver, whatever. But it's still to this day, I'll go into Dick's Sporting Goods and I'll just see a kid wearing a Kingfish jersey I've never met. I have no idea how he ended up on a Kingfish team. It's just, it gets a life of its own, right? So now in this case, we hope our athletics teams kind of become, I don't want to say viral, like that's nowhere near viral, but just the fact that, it becomes a life of its own, like you said, where people just kind of come in and want to play for the teams, or they start asking about tryouts, and obviously having a facility like this to train in is a blessing, and people definitely look at it like as an advantage, right? Like if this is where you get to train all year long. So definitely something interesting and cool, and hopefully we'll have that with baseball, and then softball with some of the organizations that are partnering with us, and maybe volleyball one day, maybe some other things.
No, we love that. And we could talk sports all day, and we will, certainly, because this is a sports show. But what impresses me most is your kind of hand into the community, right? You guys are constantly trying to get into the community and let people know not only that you're here, but you're here to support them in whatever way possible.
Sure.
Why is that so important to you to kind of have, yes, you have your business, and trust me, when you're a business owner, as you know, there's a lot going on, but to always be in the community and hey, if you need this, if you need help here or here or here, we're here to help you because you help us. Why is that so important to you?
Well, I just think it's just kind of how I was raised. I mean, my parents always taught me about servant leadership, and kind of, I've always tried to conduct myself that way in the professional world. And then it just kind of, when you're your own business owner, now you're into something more of a passion project, but something you're still fully invested in. It is everything, because businesses that aren't involved in the communities aren't involved in the businesses. So even if you weren't a good person, like I like to think myself as a good person first,
I'd say so.
and hopefully a good businessman, second, third, or fourth. But I think from that perspective, you need communities to support businesses. Even talking to Sweet Melissa's, Melissa
yeah.
Poland, she's
Yeah.
just a sweetheart. But she came over, she's like, my business grew just because of my personality and how kind I was. Because again, that's how she wants her business to treat the community, and the community to treat her business. And I think we look at the same thing here. Like, people come in, they see smiling faces, they see kind people, and we want that same type of perception that we're kind to the community. The community hopefully will be kind to us. And again, anything they need, that's what we hope to provide here, for them.
So when people look at athletics from the 5,000-foot view, they say, okay, well, it's this, or this. And I got to be honest, Sean, I can't put athletics in any of those categories because it's something that I've never seen. You've got batting cages, you have two full basketball courts, you have the Dr. Dish, which I'm so impressed with, which some people even at Game Changer didn't even understand what that was. The technology side of it, the athletic side of it, and the just general. I mean, you've got a weight room, and forgive me because I'm not calling it the right thing, but for me, it's a weight room.
Yeah.
That I'm a member of, and I'm excited about, and to see people kind of coming to your campus for different reasons. Why is that important to you?
I just think it's very important to have a diverse offering, and serve as many verticals as you can, because I think that diversity of offering is kind of how you can have staying power, right? We're not a baseball facility. We're not a softball facility. We're not a basketball facility. We're volleyball or football, or we're all of the above. We're servicing field sports, court sports, hobby athletes, serious athletes. I think we're kind of trying to fit that entire group of verticals into this facility, right? So with the golf simulators, we have Top Golf on them, but we also have, for the serious golfer, full on, golf. So someone's here to drop their kid off. Our thought was maybe they want to golf, maybe they want to buy a day pass and go into the gym, or maybe they want to join the gym because they're here every week.
Yep.
Maybe they just want to have some food. Maybe they want to watch, TV here in the concession area. Maybe they want to go shoot hoops on Dr. Dish, right? So they have some brothers and sisters. We really wanted it to be more of a destination, more of you come here, you get better, you enjoy yourself. I mean, that's that whole train, compete, play, right?
Yeah.
You train here, you get better, you compete here in our tournaments and our things like that, and then you can play. Like, there's things you can do to have fun here. So yeah.
So naturally, YSN part of the fold. Moving forward, we're excited for it. But you've got
so excited,
big plans. I mean, you've talked about, you guys have a lot of acreage here. You sold some to the church, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah. First Christian Church in Columbiana. Great people.
Yeah.
They bought half of the acreage. We had 25 acres that went all the way to Heck Road over there, and they kind of sawed it in half, if you will, which is great because it was a time when we needed the funds to finish, because I think a lot of people can understand the climate right now.
Oh, yeah.
Between inflation and scarcity of resources and scarcity of workforce, and what it costs to get anything done right now is ludicrous compared to what it used to be. So that was something we had to get through, but that was a big help for us. But yeah, I mean, we if folks support us and we can make it work. We do want to put another field house size building in, connected to our current field house, and move all of our courts into that, and then have all turf in one and all courts in the other.
Wow.
Which would be amazing. Would be great. And then, plazas and cottage industry and things like that around us to really make it a destination. We talked about sand volleyball courts for next fall or next spring. I mean, we talked about maybe putting an outdoor soccer type pitch, football, soccer field out there, so we can have some things going on out there.
That'd be I mean, just I love the vision. I love everything that you guys do, and most importantly, and especially when you talk to your dad, Rich, God's had his hand on everything. You know what I mean?
100%.
I love that you guys are based in your faith, and you understand that faith and business and family and everything that you do in life goes together.
Yeah.
And not to get too kind of into it, but I mean, talk about your faith and kind of your faith through this process. And I mean, you left your job to do this full time. And as someone that did that himself, I understand the commitment that jump. You can't see the staircase, but you got to take a step.
Yeah, it's very tough. So so I guess it's twofold, right? So there's faith in God, faith in Jesus, faith that I was blessed to be born into, right? Not a lot of people maybe have to have that moment, but I was blessed that my grandparents and my parents and the people that I was around kind of raised me in the faith, and I think that was huge for me because I didn't have to go through maybe finding it on my own. So I'm very, very thankful for that, and that's a tie that binds everything together. You're not just a businessman, you're not just a father, you're not just a son. You're all of those things have to come together, and I think faith kind of has tied that all together for me, at least. So that's been awesome. And speaking of which, FCA does a lot of things out of here and are going to continue to do some things out of here. So Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been a great partner to us too. Another like community member, if you will.
That's where we met, actually, the FCA meeting.
Exactly when we were building. So that was huge. Then the faith to do this was a lot because, I was again blessed to have a very good job at Sodexo Roth, blessed to be in the plans of the higher ups, blessed to have the best people to work with every day. I still miss every day the people that I used to get to work with and that community that I had there. But it was just one of those things where it was just felt like the timing was right. I felt led that this is what we should be doing. This is, my kids are getting older. I want them to be able to enjoy this and be a part of it and kind of learn the business side of it as well. I just think it just was the right time for me personally, but it was a very difficult step to make. So hopefully it works out. I guess we don't know yet, but we certainly have the faith that it will, but
I got a feeling.
we'll see. I hope so.
Not only your faith, but you've been able to take these steps with your family. And the second you walk in, what's funny is like your family's all over the place. And I love that. I love that because it really is a family business, but you're bringing in other people that you bring into your family, not just your business.
Yeah. And that's a good point. So I always felt like the people at Roth were my extended family. I mean, that was without question. And my father, who worked there for years and was very high up in the company, always felt that way too, that those people were your family. But I don't think I would, I wouldn't be in this position without my family, and B, I wouldn't do this without my family, right? It wasn't like, let me do this myself. It was like, no, like, me, my dad, my uncle, my brother, it was like, do we want to do this? And if they said no, I would still be doing what I was doing. So I was blessed enough that they would actually have the faith in me based on my background and based on just, their confidence in me that I could pull this off for us. So I'm putting everything into it and trying to make sure it's happening for them as well. So, but I wouldn't want to do it without my family. I mean, that was key. That was the key.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I come through that door and I'm already smiling, but I smile even more because it's like, okay, which one are you? Like, one of those. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more with athletics, whether it's Sean or somebody else. I'm excited to reintroduce athletics to you. We were here a few months ago for kind of the soft open, and now we're here. This baby's wide open. You need to call athletics today and make sure that you get to see it, even if it's just a walkthrough to get your kids involved, to get yourself involved. You need to do it because athletics it's something you will never see two of, at least for, I guess, a little bit.
We hope someday there's a bunch of them.
We'll talk about that part when we come back on Ysn's Power Hour.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These 3 values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ysn Power Hour live on location from Athletics here in Columbiana on Route 7. So if you got Firestone Farms, if you just pass them up and you take a right, I mean, all you have to do is look off in the distance and you see it. I mean, it is literally like Field of Dreams. I'm looking out the door right here and I see cornfields, which I love because I'm waiting for like 17 high school athletes to come walking out of it from somewhere we've never seen before, just like in Field of Dreams, man.
No doubt. We actually talked about that. It's my fault. I just had my plate's a little overflowing right now. But my dad really was wanting to do that. He said, why, we have the cornfield right here. Like, why not do that and shoot like a commercial? So hopefully they plant corn next door again.
We got it.
Or maybe we'll just plant our own, I guess, just maybe.
We got it.
Field, just to shoot the commercial.
I love it. Here at Athletics, I mean, there's so much going on. I know there were some things you wanted to highlight. Jerry's working right now, making sure that there's people in here getting better, which is the whole purpose of this. So, but you want to highlight some of the things that your people do here so people know what they can get involved in and to get their athlete or themselves better.
Yeah, absolutely. So Evan's doing Wednesdays and Saturdays, 5 to 8 year old youth athletic training and 9 to 12 year olds so that they can get in and have a good time and just do the things that maybe aren't as prevalent. Like, when I was little, I was on a bike and I was 3 miles away from home playing a backyard football game.
Yep.
It's amazing when none of us broke our necks, but this just doesn't seem to be the world we live in today, where kids aren't able to get on a bike and just go, 2 miles away and do something like that. And, so there's really a need for that type of activity for them. And he's a personal trainer. So it's not like what they're doing is just all fun. There's a purpose behind it, but they're having a blast doing it.
Gotcha.
I think if you talk to anybody who's been in those 2 classes, I think they're having a blast with it. Then Jerry is doing on Wednesdays and Fridays. He's doing a speed and agility specific for 13-year-olds and up. So kind of really specific on speed and agility. That just started this week. So, it's plenty of time to get into that. And then we're doing, Jerry and Evan together are doing athlete programming. So where folks would join our gym and they would program out based on their personal goals. So this can be an athlete of ex-athlete as Evan likes to call it. Could be guys like you and I, or it can be, a premier high school athlete who's looking to have their workouts, put together by a personal trainer based on their goals or the sport that they're looking to improve in. So it can kind of be either one, but Evan and Jerry are kind of coming together on that piece as well. We've got yoga 5 days a week at this point. We've got some tremendous yoga teachers. One of them just had hip surgery, so she's watching. Katie, I hope you feel better. But yeah, she does Mondays and Wednesdays at 5:30. Summer is 6 o'clock on Thursdays. And Randy is doing 6 a.m. on Tuesday, Thursday, and 8 a.m. on Saturday. So we've got a full lineup of that. And we've got some really cool collabs coming with that too. Katie Glaetzer at Body Temple Fitness is going to be doing a pop-up, HIIT, high intensity interval training here to kind of as a collab with Body Temple Fitness, which is going to be awesome. So that they're just an amazing family as well. So we're really excited about that. I think it's the 19th. We'll send that on our socials pretty quick.
Sure.
We're going to do a pop-up class that day and then see what the reaction is. If people want us to keep it here, then we'll have kind of a BTF satellite body weight HIIT classes going on here. So that'll be cool.
I liked last time we talked, and I know that we've talked about it in between, but you're working on your body, you're working on your game on the field, but also you guys have the classrooms that where you can learn a little bit about yourself. You can learn the X's and O's. You can learn, a lot of different things. And I know you guys just had a sign up. I think it's complete now. But to be able to work on your kind of mind, body, and spirit under one roof, that's really what athletics is all about.
Yeah, 100%. So we actually have right now our sports psychology class is going on. Mark Jones is here, and he's teaching that. Both of my kids are in there. I mean, if you want to know if I believe in it or not, right? Like my kids are in there. When you start to think about the fact that the difference in performance day to day, barring an injury or some, physical malnutrition or something that's going on, is typically it's between the ears for the athletes, right? So the folks that can control their mind can control typically their performance, at least within, their constraints, right?
Sure.
You're not going to be LeBron James just because you think you're going to be LeBron
No.
James. But at the same time, if you think you're somebody terrible and you really could be Kobe Bryant, now you've got an issue, right? So really focusing on the mind of the athlete as well. So this was a pilot course. So it's a 6-week closed session. So once you're in that session, it's the same kids every week, so that they can not only improve themselves, but improve in the social setting as well. And it becomes a safe space for them to share kind of the things that they want to work on. So right now it's just Tuesday nights, but we expect to add nights and add, other, courses
So
for them.
cheer and dance also is something that you guys are kind of looking into, and it's important because let's face it, space is scarce here in Northeast Ohio. And that's kind of why you guys believe in this so much, is because, hey, we can house everybody, every level, and do everything. And I've been around you a lot, and you've never said no to anybody because you go, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, if we can fit it into the schedule, I mean, look, again, we want to be here for everybody. I mean, we don't want folks to feel like, oh, there's nothing for me there, right? So that was actually a question I was asked once. They're like, oh, well, I'm, X, I'm 50 years old. You have nothing for me. I'm like, oh, well, we have this and we have this. And they're like, oh, wow, maybe you do have something for me. So, you can't, you don't want to ignore, segments of the population. You don't want to ignore it if you can help them out.
Absolutely. All right. So when we look at the future plans of athletics, I mean, we're in the infancy stages, and one of those things where sometimes I'm sure you're sitting there going, man, you'd love to have this place packed every hour of every single day, just like any other business owner would, but also like downtime. Like, what do you do for downtime, if you have any right now? Because
Me
I'm
personally,
sure you
no,
personally,
that's pretty scarce. Actually, I'm, again, I'm feeling pretty guilty. I feel like this summer my kids didn't have a dad around a whole lot. I can tell you that. And even now, it's 16 hours the other day, 12 the next. It just is what it is. It takes what it takes, right? I think Russell Wilson wrote a book about that. But yeah, it takes what it takes. Like, I'm not going to look back and regret that we didn't put in the effort we needed to be successful. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think I do need to get back a little bit more of a work-life balance. But hopefully, if people come, I'll feel better about that work-life balance. If they're not here, I'm going to continue to feel like I got to figure some things out, right? So, no, we just continue to try to put in the work it's going to take to get the result that we're hoping is going to happen.
Well, we see the kids rolling through the doors. I mean, literally, they were walking right behind us. And,
yeah, that's
and
Heartland
working
Christian's middle school. They practice here, and their youth practice right after them on Tuesday, Thursdays. They're both here. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, it's just the middle schoolers, or excuse me, Mondays and Fridays, just the middle schoolers. But yeah, it's been a greite partnership with them. Josh has been tremendous to work with, and
Josh Scott, that's our guy.
Yeah, great guy. And we're hoping more schools. I keep hearing there's gym scarcity, but we're filling up, but we're not full. So if people need gym time, we're here. If they need field turf time, that's filling up as well. But it's not full, so there's still opportunities to get in.
Now, being the chubby kid that I am, I heard you talk earlier about food trucks and having food trucks here and stuff like that. I mean, where do some of these ideas come from? I mean, just to have food trucks on location. So is that for tournaments, or is that just random nights of the week, or how are you going to do that?
Right now, it's just flexing up for tournaments.
Gotcha.
So when we know we're gonna have large crowds here, just giving them more food options and just making it kind of a cooler experience for everybody. So that's kind of where that came about, was, how do we feed, how do you have a small, I don't want to call it a kitchen, but, how do you have a concession stand that can feed, the average night with maybe 50 to 100 people here? And then what do you do if 600 are here? Yeah. You can't really plan for that. And, you wouldn't be able to do that. But the idea is that we have 2 food truck hookups, so we can feed a lot of people if we need to.
That's awesome.
I'm just thinking of our college game day.
Oh yeah,
thing, and
I can't wait.
Food trucks out there, so
the tailgate.
Yeah, so you want to say that, but that's a good idea. I think you should pitch it.
You want me to pitch it?
All
right. So we do our YSN, or we had been doing YSN prime times, which is on Thursday nights, which is usually team feed. Tonight, as a matter of fact, we'll be at Cardinal Mooney for some interviews with hopefully Coach Pelini and some of the boys as they gear up for their Week 12 opponent. And we think they probably, if they win, they meet up with the winner of South Range and Garfield, which we think will be South Range, making the kind of Megatron of matchups in Week 13. But what we're trying to get to is that college game day atmosphere, the tailgate on Thursday nights. Come one, come all. We're going to talk about all teams on YSN, preview the Fridays. This is all going to start next fall, which we're super excited for. And Sean and I kicked it around for about 30 seconds. We got way too excited about it and had to be calmed down by the outsiders. But the truth is how excited we are about being able to bring people to athletics, let them see what this place is all about, let them see it for what it is, which is an opportunity for them to get better, to get excited. And when YSN comes in and our partnership, although already it has blossomed, but when we are here, the athletes are going to be interviewed in our in the corner, the hot corner, so to speak. We'll be having our shows from here, and the tailgate party. I can't wait for prime time is going to be nuts. So hopefully getting those food trucks in there and giving opportunities for, I'm thinking Frightanic right now because they're always at South Range.
Great, yeah.
They're amazing. But getting different opportunities for different food trucks and letting people kind of taste the valley all over again right here at athletics, and just another kind of feather in your cap there. So,
well, and just making it a destination like we talked
That's
about,
it.
like that the kids and the parents and the families come here
Yep.
for that college game day experience. Maybe they're holding up the signs and you guys
Yep.
are up on a platform and doing your show.
Yeah.
I just can see that the bands are here,
we'd
cheerleaders
love
are
it.
here.
We'd love it.
And, just doing that every week would just be tremendous throughout the high school football season. So, yeah, no, we're definitely doing that's happening for sure.
Nothing more. All right. So let's get into some topics real quick while we have a couple minutes. One of the big topics we've been talking about is athletes and being multi-sport athletes,
Mm-hmm.
because in my day, it was people wanted you to specialize. Coach wanted you to specialize.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be in the cage in the winter. You're going to be doing all this stuff. But I feel, and we've talked to coaches now that are saying multi-sport athletes, they actually favor them
Mm-hmm.
at the next level over specialized athletes. Obviously, with athletics, you can be a multi-sport athlete. You can
Mm-hmm.
start on the turf in the field house and end up in the cage and get 2 workouts in. What's your take on it? And what have you been getting from a standpoint of, people signing up, for multiple sports or just one sport specific?
Yeah, I mean, just personally, I was a 3-sport athlete. So to me, I saw the advantages to kind of building the whole athlete. Like, what I mean? There's movements you're doing in basketball that you're not doing in football, and in baseball that you're not doing in the others. And I think there's a ton of value to that. With that being said, that's good to hear. Because in some areas, it depends on the coaches. It depends on what the expectations are for that team. I think that every school and every sport has different expectations. And I think that the coaches that have higher expectations for themselves, meaning that they're expected to win a certain number of games, probably favor, athletes that specialize because they know they have to achieve at a high level. I think schools that are kind of share their athletes is probably the correct model, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially smaller schools, you need to share your athletes. But I do think I prefer personally that. And I know that as I was recruited, it was definitely a good thing that I was playing multiple sports. I didn't have a single Division I coach tell me stop playing football or basketball.
Yeah.
Right? None of them. Might be different now, but I'm just telling you my experience.
No, that's what they're telling us.
So yeah, they typically do, I think, like the more well-rounded athletes, because once you become a Division I athlete, the expectation is heavy. It's a full-time job, plus being a full-time student, plus the community service aspect, plus the study tables and all the things that they expect you to go to. I mean, it's a lot, but it's a lot. That's what prepares you for life. So I do think that athletes that are juggling multiple sports plus their curriculum, their schooling, I think that college coaches see an advantage to that. Yeah, for sure.
So as a guy that went, and played at the next level, what was the biggest challenge for you from the jump from high school to college?
Well, obviously, it depending on where you go and what you're into, but obviously, it's this speed of the game, if you will, and then the quality of the athlete. You go from top of the food chain as an 18-year-old in high school to bottom of the food chain, right, as a 19-year-old freshmen, and you're playing against 23-year-old men. That's a big difference. But I think that you're also your career arc accelerates as well. So you get to that, iron sharpens iron, right? So
Yep.
it's like, wow, I'm now competing with this guy who's 23 years old. He's got a full on beard, and you know what I mean? It's, you're just fresh out of high school. You got some few specks of hair on your face. Yeah, you got some peach fuzz, but no, it definitely is an interesting, eye-opening experience. And then the level after that is, of course, the same kind of thing. It's like, oh my. You never seen some of these people from other parts of the world, literally. But no, it's neat. It's definitely a cool
big fish in small pond to reverse. All right, so I ran into a player that was on YSN for a good amount of time. Probably about 4 years ago, and he said one of the biggest challenges and what nobody told him about was they expect you at the next level to know what to do. Like to be able to control your diet, to be able to control your study tables, keep your grades up. If you got to work, you got to work, and get to practice in the morning and practice at night. Did you have any of that kind of like eye-opening or awakening from that standpoint of like, oh my gosh, like they're here to win. This isn't just about playing little Joey anymore and getting him a varsity letter.
Oh yeah. There's none of that anymore. It's all on you to make it happen. That's definitely for all college students, if we're being honest. Like just when you go to college and you go from high school, and it's like you have periods and classes, and you're there, and the principal's there, and you walk through the halls. To now I got to walk across campus. It's up to me. If I don't show up, the teacher doesn't care.
Nope.
Dealing with that much freedom becomes difficult, right? But to your point, it's eye-opening, the regimentation you have, but the freedom you have at the same time. And in the end, you're going to get out of it what you put into it, right? You can go into the weight room and you can mark it down that I did my work, or you can actually go in and do the work, right? But it's ultimately up to you. So that is definitely an eye-opening experience when you've got freedom and regimentation at the same time. It's kind of a strange like brew, and it's just totally different than high school, where you're kind of held by the hand. Like, you go to this class, go to that class, go to practice, coach tells you what to do, right?
Yeah. It's not like that in college.
No. And in some cases they don't think they have to teach you the fundamentals anymore, right? So it's like you're on your own. It's not like they're not teaching you, make sure you throw the ball the right way, little guy. Like, no, it's that doesn't happen. It's just, it's trial by fire. But,
so, I mean, what are some of the rules kind of that you teach your kids? I mean, listen, anybody that can go play, and I don't care what division it is, anybody that goes and plays at the next level, you've accomplished something, because you're doing something that 93% of the population can't do. What are some of the things that you're telling and that you learned maybe by being a college athlete that you apply to your daily life and you kind of warn your kids about if they want to go, and play on Saturdays or be a college athlete someday?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that they have to learn is they have to be the best themselves. It isn't about chasing dad or mom. My wife she was an All-American, at Akron, in cross country. So like, obviously she has her accolades as well. And, I was blessed to play after college. So it's like crazy. It's like, I feel at times like it's not fair to my kids if they feel they have to lose. So my biggest thing is always just be the best version of you first and foremost. And you'll be that by putting the work in that you need to work. And it doesn't matter what else you do after that. Like, if you're good enough to play in high school, then that's an accomplishment. If you're good enough to play in college, that's an even bigger accomplishment, right? It's 93%, like you said, don't go on to play after high school. So really just want them to learn the life lessons that I learned from sports that didn't have to happen at any particular level, right? You learn how to be a good teammate. You learn how to be a leader. You learn how to, take care of your brothers and sisters that are out there with you fighting every day.
Yep.
Those kinds of things that they're going to learn that translate into business. They translate into entrepreneurship, as you know. They translate into, I'm sure, working with a team at a hospital. Like, whatever it is you're doing, what you learn in sports, it happens on a level that really doesn't matter. I think we can all see that after we're done. That one game in week 3 against that particular team, that game didn't matter as much, right? So if you were the scapegoat, you screwed up, or you made the play to win the game. In the end, it's nice memories to have if you were the guy to win it. But in the end, if you were the guy that lost it, it really has no impact on your life. Now, in that moment, you feel like it does.
Yeah.
So you kind of get a glimpse of what it's like to maybe not prepare and fail versus prepare and succeed.
And what did you take from that
and
moment?
What do you take from that moment,
Yeah.
right? So then when you go to college and have that autonomy to go to class or not go to class. You might remember that, oh, remember when I didn't prepare in week 3 and cost my team the game? I'm not going to cost myself my education, right? Or I'm going to be in a business meeting and know that I've got a huge meeting tomorrow. Do I prepare, or do I say, forget it, I'm going to go have a beer after work with Joe, or am I going to stay late and work on it? So I think that it translates, and it translates on a level that doesn't have to matter in the moment. It feels like the world, but it's really not once you look back. But it's good to feel like it's the world and learn that lesson, either good lesson or bad lesson, right?
So that leads right into one of my last questions for you, Sean. And I'm big, like, I went from obsessing about baseball to obsessing about, sales and all that stuff. Basically, anything that I do, I become obsessed with. I was watching Shark Tank, and Mark Cuban said, sports and business are hand in hand, because business is the ultimate competition and sports people drink it like Gatorade. From that standpoint for you, like, do you feel the same way? Like, you feel like, as the ultimate competitor that you are, and that your wife is, do you feel like the business now, it's like that's your sport now? That's what you're going at, and you're throwing your entire being into it?
Yeah. I think the only thing that's different is like I said earlier, I want to be the best at what we can do, but what we can do. I'm not out to say that we have to be better than the Spire Institute up
right.
And I can't compete, with a $30 million budget, right? But the best we can be. I think that same message that I gave about what I hope my kids get out of it is what we want to do here. What's the best we can do here, and continue to push that envelope until we reach whatever ceiling that is. If that ceiling is there's 35 of these across the country, then that's awesome. We've succeeded in franchising this model, right? If there's one here and it's exactly what we see today, and, it can support my family, and it can, be a place that the community enjoys, then that's the best it could be. But I'm always going to strive for what could be until I find out that that's the farthest it can go. Same thing you do with yourself. Like, what's the furthest you can go in athletics and business and whatever. And then you have to align your expectations with your reality. And once you do that, you're happy every day, right? Because it is what it is.
So I have 2 questions left for you. One, we're going to go deep, because I feel like it's going to throw you off a little bit. What does success look like to you?
Oh, wow.
Told you.
In this business or in my life?
In your life.
In my life, I would say that my kids feel that I was a good father, that I profess my faith with them and to them, and so that they grow up in the church and in the faith like I feel is appropriate. So those would be probably the 2 most important things that they that would be success. Honestly, if I could boil it down, it'd be faith first, that my family appreciated me and thought that I lived up to their expectations of a great father. I would say if that would be the minimal. Like, if you're boiling it down, then there's a bunch of little things that don't matter as much. Obviously I hope this business is something that goes well, and they can inherit someday, or they can be a part of someday. I hope, obviously, my wife feels like I was a great husband. Like, all those little things that mean something to you, big or little, like, obviously you can continue to go and grow that out, what success looks like. And you want to be as successful as many of those things as possible. But if you boil it all the way down, those would be the 2.
That's your core. I love it. All right, last question for you. It's the way we end every single interview with our student athletes. I think I know where this one's going. Who is your role model, your hero, and why?
Oh, well, definitely my dad. I mean, as a boy, my parents are both. I love them equally. But as a boy, you tend to look to your dad. You look to how he is and acts and reacts, and what he achieves or doesn't achieve. It's just natural, I think. So definitely my dad. He showed me the way to be a great leader. He showed me to be a great athlete. He was always, throwing me pitches and catching me when he needed to, and whatever it took, that he would always try to open that door for me. And that's the same thing I'm trying to do for my kids. Whatever it takes that they want out of life, I want to try to open those doors for them and give them an opportunity. And the way he treated his coworkers and the people that worked with him and for him, definitely 100% my dad. Yeah,
dude, that is, I got a little choked up. So that's awesome. I love that. This place, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there and you haven't heard of it, what rock have you been living under? But certainly you need to come check it out. They have so much, and they have something, as Sean said, for everybody that walks through those doors. So check it out. The the website is
Athletics.training.com.
okay. And if people want to get a hold of you, or your team, what's the email address one more time?
info@athletics.training.com.
Easy enough. Or you can just send a message to YSN.
Athletics with an X though.
With an X. The X
I guess
factor.
that would be it. Yeah.
We love it. We appreciate you having us out here. We cannot wait to be out here every single day.
I can't wait.
We're geeked up, and I'm sure right after this, we're both going to be just skipping down this hallway with more ideas. For Sean Wardle, my name is DJ Yoakley. This has been the YSN Power Hour for your Thursday. We got 2 volleyball games tonight, absolutely free for you, thanks to our sponsorships. So make sure you go out. It's Wellsville and Crestview, respectively. Check them out. Root them on. If you're not going to go, make sure you turn on YSN, and we got you covered. Thanks to our awesome sponsors that we'll be talking about here tonight. And, of course, tomorrow we have 15 games all over the region. Right here on the network. $9.99 gets you every single one of them, and you can help out a local business and, of course, help us pay our bills that the OHSAA keeps sending our way. So that's going to do it for our show. Thanks again to Sean Wardle. Greatly appreciated as always, and we will see you tomorrow on the YSN Power Hour Super Show right here on the network. So long, everybody. YSN thanks you